The world number 3 walked onto that court in Madrid thinking he had a chance. He left wondering what just happened. 6-1, 6-2. It wasn't even close. And when you see who did it and how many times he's done it now, you start to realize this isn't just a hot streak anymore. This is something the sport has genuinely never seen before. Jannik Sinner just made history. Again, 24 consecutive victories. Let that number sit for a second. 24. In professional tennis, where the margins are razor thin, where one bad service game can flip a match, where the pressure of a Grand Slam crowd or a Masters final can crack even the most experienced players in the world, this man has not lost in 24 matches. He is not just winning. He is destroying people. He is walking through the draw like the other players are not even in the same league. And the guy he beat today was not some journeyman. He was world number 3, a top-tier professional who has spent years grinding on the tour, competing at the highest level week in and week out. And Sinner made him look like he was still learning the game. 6-1, 6-2. Barely an hour on the court. Done. Clinical. Ruthless. Almost cold in how efficient it was. But here's what makes this even more extraordinary. It's not just the winning streak. It's what he's winning. Masters 1,000 titles. The biggest tournaments outside of the Grand Slams. The events that separate the great players from the legendary ones. Sinner has now won 5 of them in a row. 5 consecutive Masters 1,000 titles. No man in the history of professional tennis has ever done that. Not Federer. Not Nadal. Not Djokovic. Nobody. This is completely uncharted territory, and Sinner is out there mapping it in real time. Think about what it takes to win one Masters event. You're talking about a draw filled with the best players on the planet. You're talking about best of 3 sets tennis, which means anyone can beat anyone on any given day. You're talking about different surfaces, different conditions, different challenges at every single tournament. And this man has gone out and won 5 of them back-to-back. 5 different tournaments, 5 different draws, 5 different finals, and 5 victories. It is almost impossible to overstate how difficult that is. The tennis world is watching this unfold, and they genuinely don't know what to say anymore. The superlatives are running out. So when Coco Gauff, one of the biggest names in the women's game, someone who has competed on the grandest stages herself and understands better than most what elite-level tennis actually looks like, when she sees Sinner's Instagram post after this win, and her only response is a single word, "You pay attention." She didn't write a paragraph. She didn't break down his technique or analyze his tactics. She just wrote one word, incredible. And honestly, what else is there to say? Because that one word captured everything. The scale of the performance, the weight of the history being made, the sheer disbelief that one player is doing this to the rest of the field right now. Incredible. Simple, direct, and completely accurate. And it wasn't just Gauff. The post started pulling in reactions from across the sporting world. Tomás Echeverry, a respected name on the tour, who knows exactly how hard it is to compete at this level. Caroline Garcia, a former world number 1 on the women's side, who has experienced the pressure of top-level competition herself. And then there was Kimi Antonelli, a Formula 1 driver, someone from an entirely different sport, engaging with what Sinner is doing, because what he's doing transcends tennis. When athletes from other disciplines start paying attention, when a Formula 1 driver is commenting on your Instagram after a tennis match, you know you've crossed into a different kind of territory entirely. This is what sustained excellence looks like. This is what it means to be so dominant in your sport that the entire world stops and notices. And the thing about Sinner is that he doesn't seem to be slowing down. There's no sign of fatigue. There's no wobble in form. Every match, he comes out and he performs. Every week, he goes out and he wins. And every time someone thinks the streak might finally end, he goes and makes it look even easier than the week before. Now here's where it gets really interesting. He is one Masters event away from completing the full set. Every single Masters 1,000 title. The full collection. Nobody has ever done that consecutively. And with the way he's playing right now, with the form he's showing, with the level he's operating at, you would not bet against him doing it. A few months ago, that sentence would have sounded absurd. Today, it sounds almost inevitable. But this is where Sinner himself becomes fascinating. Because for all the records, for all the history, for all the worldwide attention and the social media reactions and the sporting legends taking notice, he stood in front of the cameras after this match, and he was completely calm. Not arrogant, not dismissive, just calm, grounded, focused. He acknowledged what he's achieving, but he refused to let it define him or distract him. He said it means a lot to him. Of course it does. He's a professional athlete who has worked his entire life to compete at this level. Every win means something. Every record means something. But then he said something that tells you everything you need to know about why he keeps winning. He said he cannot compare himself to Rafa, to Roger, to Novak. He said what they did is something incredible. And then he just moved on. There's a lesson in that. Here is a man in the middle of the greatest winning streak active in tennis right now, making history with every match he plays, and he's sitting there talking about the legends of the game with genuine humility. Not performed humility, not the kind of false modesty that athletes sometimes put on for the cameras. Real humility. He genuinely believes that what Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic did across their careers is on a different plane, even as he's out there setting records that none of them ever set. That mindset is part of what makes him so hard to beat. He's not playing for the records. He's not chasing history. He's not trying to build a legacy or manage his image or protect a ranking. He's just playing tennis. Match by match, point by point, he's just focused on winning the next one. And when you strip away all the noise and all the pressure and all the expectation and you just compete on that level, match after match after match, the records take care of themselves. 24 wins in a row. 5 consecutive Masters titles. The first man in history to achieve that. Reactions coming in from across the sporting world. One word from Coco Gauff that said everything. And one more Masters event standing between Sinner and a record that right now feels less like a question of if and more like a question of when. The man is not stopping. The streak is not ending. And if you're one of the players on the other side of the draw at the next tournament, looking at the bracket and seeing his name, you already know what's coming. 6-1, 6-2, maybe 6-1, 6-1 if you're unlucky. And another chapter in the most dominant run professional tennis has seen in a very long time. This is Jannik Sinner's era, and it's only just getting started.